Hello everyone, this is Jasmine aka Gladiator in Sweats, and I'm here with the weekly tarot forecast for the week of July 1st through the 7th. So we're going to cover the first week of July. Um, I guess I'll just start off with saying, if you can just see the cards here just in the spread, first off, we have mostly major arcana cards. So I feel this is very life-changing, very not just heavy but transformational energy, just very, I don't want to use the word fateful, but that's really the word that comes to mind, like divinely timed, destined, those kinds of things. That's what comes to my mind. But before I get into it, I do want to say thank you for all the new as well as returning subscribers. I'm appreciative for all the likes, the love, the comments, all of that. So I hope that you feel my love the same way that I feel yours. So just gonna jump into it. I won't go too heavy into the transits or anything. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end as I include a little bit of a change in the weekly forecast, at least the way that I'm doing it. So let's just get into the spread here. Just my usual pinnacle spread. So let's just jump in. So here in the current position of like where we are, what we want, or not what we want, but like just where we are, we have the Chariot. And I feel like this is representative of a few different things. I mean, it's Cancer season right now, and this is the Cancer card, so I definitely feel like we're in the realm of really trying to pull together our energies to have them integrate and work in tandem, like the way that this card is showing here. But not just that, but I feel that we're really taking control of both of our masculine and feminine energies at this time. That's really what I feel like the energetic focus has been on for many of us, about us really needing to integrate these newer, I guess you could just call codes, this newer DNA, or if you just want to look at it as just our new selves, the new way that we carry ourselves. And it's not really as in new, it's really the us that's underneath, all of these layers, all of this illusion that we've really been having to work through, of us really having to deal with our own like self-imposed prisons, really having to garner our own willpower, really needing to develop our own emotional control as well. As you see, just with the black and the white, I see this as, the masculine and feminine, the light and the dark. And the way that, the moon, there's a crescent moon here, like over what I believe is, an infinity symbol. And so I see it as, taking control of your emotions to really be able to tap into that infinite power, where your power is, comes from your feelings, comes from your emotions. When I look at this card also, I thought of Poseidon. I thought of, the way that he has his own chariot, and I brought this up in the full moon reading where I talked about Poseidon and a little bit of not necessarily just the mythology, but really about what he represents. And so I feel like this is also talking about the energy of the grand water trine that we've been really tapped into, that we'll continue to feel through some of this week as well, or not even through some of this week, I believe actually through into next week. And so, as I mentioned in the full moon reading, I feel like it's all about us learning to ride the waves, and the chariot is about, riding those waves with confidence and really being able to maneuver through the energies and the emotions, with a little bit more ease, a little bit of flexibility. That's kind of what I'm thinking about here. With this justice here in reverse, the first thing that I thought of immediately was the rebalancing of karma, the rebalancing, or just like the zeroing out of, like, I just imagine, like, I'm not sure the term for it, when they like take something off of your record or something if you get in trouble with the law. But that's kind of the way I'm seeing it, as just like amnesty. That's kind of what I'm looking at as amnesty. a clearing of the cards, like a reshuffling of the deck, but not really a reshuffling of the deck. I just really see it as getting a clean slate, or trying to clear our slates. Really wanting to rebalance, the harmony, the justice in our situations or circumstances. I feel like this is tied into not just that, but of things of just cause and effect, of us really taking control of our lives and our destinies by acknowledging the power of our emotions and our actions and our words. I even think of that when I see this chariot here next to this justice, of us really developing a new sense of emotional maturity and fulfillment, to where we are releasing karma, and we're releasing, these, I don't want to call them issues, but I guess cycles is really the best way for it. When we get into this Hierophant here, though, in the hidden factors position, I'm immediately thinking of hidden knowledge. I immediately looked at the keys, and I really received this as the keys, getting, not even necessarily the keys to the world, but it's like really unlocking hidden knowledge, occult knowledge. I look at these keys, the silver and the gold, and I think of the mind and matter. I think of enlightenment and love. I think of like the ray of light, and then the ray of unconditional love. And I say that because I think of silver. When I think of silver, I think of light. I think of Christ consciousness. And when I see the gold, I think of like the golden rule of, excuse me, treating others how you want to be treated, and seeing the divinity in ourselves, and seeing the divinity in other people, seeing ourselves in other people, treating others how we want to be treated, because we're coming into more of an unconditional love, more of a forgiving love. And again, as I've mentioned, forgiveness is not about allowing anyone to treat you however they wish. Forgiveness is about releasing yourself as well as the other person. But it's not even so much about the other person. Releasing yourself from cords and situations and cycles that no longer serve you. It's not even about the other person. It's about learning what you need to learn, receiving the info with the knowledge that you needed to receive. I even just look at his collar, and I'm not sure what that is, but that even made me think of the moon too. I'm just getting a lot of like a trinity kind of things, like the way that he's got this 3 here, he's got 3 fingers up. So I'm thinking of like mind, body, and spirit, aligning. Think of balance, grounding, it's the Taurus energy, but also just see all this red here, and even just the brown here with these pillars of balance, of foundation, and I consider this more of our moral foundation, but this can also refer to like our physical, of us really creating some sort of basis of foundation of knowledge, or just of our, when people speak of like their holy temple, it's their bodies, but not just their bodies. It's like their mental bodies, their emotional bodies, the parts of themselves. And I just see this as realignment of all of ourselves. I just look also at the Hierophant as just the keeper of wisdom and knowledge. So I just see that here heavily being played. I see this as not just that, but even if we go into the Fool here, let's just connect this with the Fool card here. We have this in reverse. And so the way that I looked at this was the direction of the energy, where the Fool card is pointing down to the Justice card. And so I feel like these are connected with the rebalancing of karma, with the rebalancing of cycles. And I see this as kind of, as we rebalance this, there's not just an enlightenment, but it's like we start to see we start to come into this knowledge. We start to see past the illusions. We start to not be so naive. Like, and it's not naive, like the way that I'm taking this card, the way that I'm taking this is a few different ways. I see this as the zero card, like as the 0 point, as the space of infinite possibilities, of the space like of boundless light, where the potential is really limitless. I already said that, but it's where. But this reversed, I see it just like as us starting to come into awareness of this, as we do start to unlock this knowledge, as we do start to piece together the way that things really are. Even when I look at this is, relative to like conformity, as I mentioned before, like belief systems. So maybe this is all about a change in our belief systems and seeing that maybe the way that we've seen things has been upside down. It's been, we're seeing maybe some of our belief systems, some of the ideas that we thought the world ran on, or the laws that we believe that the world or the universe or whatever worked on, it's actually flip-flopped. Like, I just take this as starting to realize the infinite possibilities, but not in a naive way. Like, I see this as like in a mature way, as you're seeing things in a whole different way, but you're seeing it like flip-flopped. Like you're seeing how, I don't want to say like, oh, the good people are bad and the bad people are good, but more like just the ways in which I feel like this is what's coming to me just now, is the idea that like what's best for you, or what's best for all, is what's best for you. But I'm seeing that we're starting to see it the other way. That it's not about necessarily, oh, doing what's best for everyone else. Like, what does all that matter if it's not best for you? And I feel this especially when we come to this outcome. We have this 9 of Pentacles here. Which, whenever I see this, I think of like, if we want to get like super 3D with it, I just think of, I guess, the picture, portrays this person that they got their own. They don't need someone to, bankroll them. They don't need someone to take care of them. They don't need someone to ground them. They're grounded in their self. They're grounded in their own light, they have their own roots. But in bringing it more into context of this reading, when we're talking about like spiritual growth and spiritual knowledge, I see this as really reaping the knowledge. I feel as if we've been asking for the knowledge for a while now. I just did the daily reading, or I didn't just do it. I pulled the cards. I'm doing it after this. But I also got a bunch of like Pentacle cards there too. And I'm just really seeing this as us just reaping what we've sown. Even in regards to this Justice card of rebalancing things, I see this as us reaping what we've sown, like getting what we worked for. And I don't want to say just worked for as in like, if you quote unquote do something, that's what makes you deserving. But I just with all the purple, it just makes me really think of the crown. It just makes me think of where you feel connected to source, to where there isn't this lack consciousness, there isn't this feeling of disconnect with source or disconnect with the world around you. It's not like, oh, you're that's what I would say. It's like when you're in the world but not of the world. That's kind of what I think of when I look at this, where we're here to experience. Like the lady in this car, like she's eating grapes, she's wearing beautiful clothes, she's enjoying life. But she's not enjoying it at the expense of her independence or her sovereignty. These cards right here, well, I really just pulled this card really for clarification for this Fool card. And so that just really brought me more clarification of us really moving out of the state of grief in a state of crying over spilled milk and not just crying over spilled milk, because I don't want to belittle anyone's not just experience but their feelings. And I really just say that because I know that a lot of the feelings that are coming up are just really intense. And it's not just intense, but it's like feelings that we thought that we were over, or just like fears or issues that we really thought that we may have been over. Like for some of us, I feel like some of it could be issues that we really honestly thought that we had buried and really had worked out. And we're starting to see that, wow, we're like, we weren't really over it for certain things. Or maybe like, wow, I didn't realize that like I was really acting out of this pain and just not even seeing it because I was so attached to my pain, attached to my sob story, to really see outside of the sob story. And not to see outside of it, but really to see it for what it is, to be able to see any of the lessons it was actually meant to teach us. And it's never, I don't want to say never, I don't even want to believe, or not believe, I don't want to frame things in it that it's about you learning about someone else. It's really about you needing to learn about yourself. And I guess I want to just say that, especially about this time, it's about ourselves. Even with this Nine of Pentacles, you know, it's themselves. And I even look at this bird here as like, you know, birds are like the messengers. Birds, you know, they are the ones that fly from place to place, you know, before cell phones and all that, they were the messengers. And so I consider them also like the spiritual messengers. And so I see this as really just, we're really just coming into a lot of knowing about ourselves, to where there isn't so much, I feel, a desire to need to seek out information outside of ourselves, where we're really starting to find the answers by going within, by really paying attention to our own actions and behaviors, and we're actually being able to form the patterns and see the patterns ourselves, as opposed to being so blocked or like so stuck in the simulation, or so stuck in the story that you're not able to like come out of it. Just think of like a sitcom or a movie or something, and imagine if an actor or actress just was like still in character, like out when they're done filming. Like that's the way I see it. Is like a lot of us, we are trapped in this illusion that the things that happen to us are because of like things we deserve, or like there's this like right or wrong, like we have to not be sinful, or we have to like, I just feel like we're all just really starting to see how a lot of the things that we thought are fear-based, or ways of really just kind of keeping us in check, that we're not able to really just access our power or be fully in our power, where we're actually giving other people our power, or giving other people the power to say what's going to happen to us. And we're taking that back. So, oh, and I just want to say, I did pull this card, and then the bottom of the deck again was Nine of Pentacles. So I just don't want to ignore this feeling of really feeling full of yourself, abundant in yourself. And it's not about a selfishness, but it's about being sure of your own connection to the world and to source. Your own connection to abundance and fertility. We're not talking just in finances or in fiat currency and things like that. Even underneath this, the world. So you're really coming into completing a cycle. And it's not just about one cycle, it's about a grand completion of a lot of cycles that are letting us, not, I don't want to say letting us, that's about us taking our power back, of us reaping the work that we have put in, and not just looking at it as the work we've put in, but I just really see it as all this work that we've been putting in to really take our control back, to really know ourselves. That's even what I think about when I think of pentacles of knowledge, and with the Nine of Pentacles of knowledge of self, even under with the world underneath. I think of knowledge of self. I think of understanding of self, of knowing who you are and why you're here. So let me go ahead and get into the oracle. All right, I'm at 21. Just want to make sure. All right, so the card we have here today is Kuan Yin's Pink Dragon, which I really, really love here. I just really love how this is all connected, honestly, to this reading, even just connected to this Nine of Pentacles energy. Like, that's what I really refer, or I feel like this is connected to. Not sure, not saying like the pictures are really like the same, but like that's what it makes me think of this abundance, this love, this overflowing of love. So let's just talk about this. Brings firm love that resets your karmic balance. See all your cords dissolved by transcendent love. Enjoy your freedom. Look for the divine around you. So just off of the summary of this card, of resetting your karmic balance through love. Seeing all cords dissolved by transcendent love. Cords that not just no longer serve you, but it's just cords to things that keep you stuck in the 3D. Keep you stuck in just the ego mindset. Stuck in just the lower three chakras, stuck in the Aries, Taurus, and Gemini mindset. Once you can break out of that into into Cancer, into Leo, into the heart, the compassion. So I just want to read a little bit of the passage, and also want to read just a little bit of about Kuan Yin before I go into the little weekly that I did with the Angel Arium cards. So the things I think I just really wanted to mention with this passage where it says, Kuan Yin's dragons are the most beautiful pale pink color, the luminous pink of the sacral chakra. They will pour their transcendent love into any cords that tie us to others, whether from this life or any other, in any dimension or plane of existence, dissolving all karma under the law of grace. And I'll read the rest of the passage that I wanted to bring up, and then I'll go into some more of these notes about her. Choosing this card offers you an opportunity to heal all your relationships, including those from past lives that you may be unaware of. Ask Kuan Yin's beautiful pale pink dragons to dissolve the cords that still tie you to others, and sit quietly while they do so. You may sense or feel them releasing you completely. Take a moment to feel the freedom that this offers you. These great-hearted dragons will then help you to see with eyes of love. Look for the divine in everyone, and be aware of all situations from a higher understanding, knowing that Kuan Yin's gentle pink dragons are on your side. These gracious dragons will enable you to enrich your relationships and transform your friendships. They will help you to treat all people with greater respect, care, and love than ever before. Remember to thank them for enhancing your life. So that's what the passage reads about her. But I did want to just mention a few other things that I feel are connected to the cards that I pulled, and just connected to the energy that we're feeling. So outside of what we know about her being the goddess of compassion and mercy, I won't go too much into really who she is. You can probably do a lot of that research yourself with access to the internet nowadays. But she's the Divine Mother. She's the same similar energy as like the Virgin Mary, Isis, Shakti, and all of these different religions, belief systems, and all of that. So it's all of this very divine feminine energy. But she, even of her name, loosely translates to who she hearkens. Oh, she who hearkens to the cries of the world. And she's on board of the Lord of Karma, and ultimately, she vowed to remain in the earthly realms to free beings of karmic cycles, to free them of this cycle of death, of life, death, rebirth, in the sense of where you live, you die, and then you're reborn, and it's just over and over and over. There's no breaking out of it. There's no expansion of the consciousness. And I feel that's really what she's not the only one here obviously doing this, but she's definitely playing a part, and I feel her energy is what's coming through a lot, at least this week. She's very, very compassionate. She's so much of no pride or vengefulness, that she's often, it's about granting like amnesty when there's sincerity. And so this is what I meant when I said that of course there's nuance. Of course there's, it's a case-by-case basis. It's not about being like, okay, I forgive everyone and everyone can do whatever or they're welcome in my life. It's not really like that. It's really about people having the sincerity of wanting to just be better. As long as there is this sincerity to want to be better, because we're never going to be any sort of vision of what people consider perfect is, but we're perfect as we are. And it's about accepting us as we are, but still just wanting to be our best selves. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's really it that I want to mention. I will bring this back up though as I get into these angel cards. So let me go ahead and set this to the side and get into these Angelarium cards here. So what I did this week, I pulled a card for each day of the week. Just to kind of not really see, oh, this is the specific energy of the day, but just to really see how the energy of this week goes. And so I'll go ahead and I'll just show you these cards individually. These are really beautiful cards. So I'm going to read them as they, were pulled from the deck. And then I'll kind of go into the way that I'm seeing this energy kind of playing out. So we have for Sunday, Angel of Sky. Monday, we have Angel of Memory. Tuesday, we have Angel of Vengeance. Wednesday, we have Angel of Divination. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay, Thursday is Angel of Time. Friday is Null, Emptiness, Da'at. And then Saturday is Chokma, Bright Eye, or Wisdom. And so, honestly, this is really beautiful the way it played out. So let me just go ahead and just read some of the notes and kind of talk about the way that I see this playing out. So just looking at this chronologically, we're starting from the sky. We're starting from air. We're starting from if you want to consider like God consciousness when we talk of like the air energy, the Christ consciousness. So we're coming from this Christ consciousness into memory, where I feel when you can receive a memory, or when you remember a memory, or remember when something bad happened to you or something that someone did, it makes me think of when people do want justice and they want vengeance. So actually, let me just kind of go break this, not really break it down, but just gonna go over this loosely. So here in Sunday, I really see this as the veil coming down, the shield coming down, the gatekeeper letting us through into divine knowledge. You know, he's in between like the earth and the heavens. And so, as I just mentioned about there being like a gatekeeper of allowing us through to receive this information. The angel of memory, I see this as us receiving new memories or really old memories. As I mentioned in the full moon, I felt like things were about like past life recall. I feel that here too, about past life recall, about receiving memories about ourselves, about why we are or why we act the way that we act. The other thing that I thought of was just the idea of when you receive a new memory that maybe an old one is replaced, so that maybe we're also rewriting memories here. But I lean more against or lean more towards us really coming into more knowledge about ourselves, about our past and what we've been through, or what really brought us to this point in the now. And I see that here with the angel of vengeance, of the temptation for revenge for our pains, the temptation for a justice or a justice to appear a certain way because of what we've been through, and really kind of needing to resist that. And I'm thinking of that especially because Kuan Yin's pink dragon did come up, of forgiveness, of compassion, of mercy, of resetting your karmic balance. The karmic balance cannot be reset if you keep the wheel spinning. And so I definitely feel that here about us really needing to resist the need to take justice into our own hands. I feel that especially even more so here with divination, where I see this as like downloads, synchronicities. Even with Mercury up there by the North Node, we're really just coming in some very divine downloads. I even see this as maybe paranormal experiences, as some of us start to really maybe experience the unknown in new ways that we never did before. I even look at the sacred geometry here, so I see this as us coming into synchronicities, and not just coming into, but we see them, like we're aware of them, and because we're aware of them, we start to have a curiosity, and we start to just further engulf ourselves in this process of really learning who we are, learning why we're here, understanding the things that have happened to us, seeing them from a higher place of understanding. With the Angel of Time here, I see this relative to the Justice card that we had, of karmic balance, of, all right, let's start this right back up. So, yeah, I'm seeing this as karmic balance, as, I just see this as time, as Chronos maybe, even. I relate Chronos, as I mentioned, in the full moon, the energy of the, like, this higher up energy, this just higher frequency, higher dimensional. And I'm just relating this even so to Uranus, to the full card energy. Especially when we lean into this very next card of Da'at, of null, of emptiness, of 0 point, where really anything is possible, where it's a blank slate, it's an empty conduit, where you can fill it up with, what you wish. There is no blueprint here. But really, I mean, even with all of these cards, I feel this is a good time, not even good time, an imperative time for us to really go within, do meditation if you don't do that already, or start a practice if you don't already. See this as us really returning to a space of just really going within to be able to, not just that's what I'm seeing. Again, just as a clearing, maybe just like a clearing of the conduit, a clearing, a purging, so that when we do move into the right eye of wisdom here, of Chokma, where Chokma is like it's like the first step out of potentiality, like the first step out of emptiness. You know, stepping into the realm of the known, stepping out of the feminine into like the masculine, stepping out of the dark into the light. And so what I did want to mention about Kuan Yin in reference to this spread was just the mythology, the Buddhist mythology about Kuan Yin. It's said that she, or the predecessor that she is from, was born from Amitabha Buddha, the Buddha of boundless light, which I would consider 0 point. You know, the Buddha of boundless light. Even when you I believe in Buddhist tradition, one of their symbols is like the center circle, and then there's 2 like crescent moons, or 2 sides. And this isn't just in Buddhist mythology. You can see this, I believe, in like pagan traditions, where you see like the full moon and then the crescent moon as the waxing and waning on both sides. It's really of that same energy. And so they say that she was born from this Buddha's right eye, the eye of wisdom. And so that's what I really see here about this energy, this Kuan Yin energy of us clearing ourselves of this desire of vengeance, clearing ourselves of this desire for revenge, this desire for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, all of this, just these cycles of pain and of hate, and all of this being worked through. Not necessarily like, oh, this is all being worked through in a week, and the next week we're just like, you know, unconditional lovers, but it's really about us really opening our hearts to this love, making ourselves open to this energy, so that this energy clears us, cleans us, forgives us, has mercy on us, so that we're also able to have mercy on others, so that we're also able to view life from a higher place of understanding, to be able to see that it's hurt people that hurt people, to be able to see that most things are not personal. And not even just most things, especially now, people are projecting so much that it's not even personal. People are just very emotional. People are very vulnerable. People are just projecting things that they normally maybe wouldn't. And I don't want to say normally wouldn't, but it's just, there's a lot of Leo energy. There's a lot of desire to just express ourselves regardless of how it's going to make others feel. Because it's important that we honor our own feelings. But all that to say, I just see this in reference with this pentacle spread, a rebalancing of karma, of us going through further purging, further cleansing, further reining in of the ego. So I'm just going to end it there. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm just so appreciative for all of the support. Gonna go ahead and start with some updates. For those that have not maybe watched any of the previous daily videos, or haven't watched any of the most recent videos I've uploaded, I'm beginning to move my dailies to my Instagram page. At least for the meantime. I'm still not entirely sure of whether I'm going to continue doing like full-length daily videos, or if I'm just gonna stay on Instagram. But I'm honestly really just leaning towards Instagram, so do feel free to follow me there, where you can check out my posts and my stories, where I pretty much stay updated as far as posts and info and updates, all of that goes. Otherwise, I believe that's really it. So check out the Mars retrograde video I did. That should be in the description box, as well as at the end of this video if you want to click the links. I'll also link the full moon reading that I just uploaded as well. And otherwise, I believe that's it. So catch me on Instagram for today's daily. Today is Sunday, so I'm uploading this on Sunday. So I hope this reaches you all well. I send you all so much love, many blessings, And I wish you all a really great week. I just really hope that everyone is able to make the best of this energy, and not just make the best of this energy, but really um, give yourself the space to really heal, and not just heal, but to surrender, like to not be so hard on ourselves when we, are faced with our dark selves, when we're faced with the parts of ourselves that we may not like so much, to not look at those parts in the face and feel disgusted. I really feel it's really about love, accepting yourself as you are, and not just as you are, but really accepting, okay, really I react like this because of this, or really all of this is because of this, and I acknowledge that and I honor that, but it's time for me to let that pain go. So again, as I've already said, I'll let you guys go. So I hope you have a great one, and until next time, bye.